Alright everyone, how you going? Jared from Crypto Plan, and I'm going to get straight to the point today because we're going to talk about VChain and we're going to talk about price predictions. The short term hasn't played out exactly the way we wanted it to. We didn't break through 2 cents as quickly as we wanted to, but we're just following the price of Bitcoin, like I say, and we're going to have a quick look at Bitcoin and see what it's doing, and still look at those potential triggers for the altcoin season, but essentially just look at where we're heading with VChain when that altcoin season happens, and I guess the next move up, and why it is so exciting and why it is so super bullish. And I've got 3 methods that I'm going to show that gets us to about the same price. But before we do that, if you could please like the video and subscribe if you do get value out of it, if you do learn something from the chart analysis, or if it just helps you keep on track with your investments in VChain. All right, getting straight into it, and I will go over to Bitcoin quickly just because I do want to touch on that key piece of information that I'm talking about, is that I've got this box here. Bitcoin broke into this box on this 4-hour bar starting at 4 a.m., which was super duper good to wake up to. I had some alarms triggered for a line a bit lower here, then I said a little bit higher, it triggered again. I got super excited, but it has since retraced. But the fact that it's staying in this box is good. But you can see here at the 19.2 mark, there is some heavy volume resistance, and then once again we're at this 19.340, another volume resistance, and then that's why I've got this line just above this last kind of few markers of resistance, and that's why I strongly believe that once we break this line and close above this line in a 4-hour candle, this 19.4 mark, we are going onwards and upwards. And there's been some other positive signals that while Bitcoin's been going up, Ethereum's been going up at the same time. I think XRP kind of went up and then has followed on the retracement, but Stellar in particular is following the strength of Bitcoin and then consolidating again. So the altcoins are moving with Bitcoin, which is super exciting for this idea that there might be an alt season. But anyway, this video is about VChain, and I'm going to go back to this 4-hour chart for VChain. I'm just going to show you and zoom out a little bit and just show you, put a bit of perspective in. So since the 15th of November, we have been in a solid uptrend. We've come up, retrace, we're steadily going up. That's why it's so bullish. All the other altcoins have kind of curved around like this. Whereas VChain's kind of was solid up to here and then it pulled back, and so it's given us that bit of freaky moment. But if we use this green trend line here, we are following that and we've bounced off it nicely. We may come back down and touch it again, so around 16 cents. But like I said, these are buying opportunities if you're a serious accumulator of things like VChain. Is buy a little bit more on these dips. If it dips again, buy a little bit more. If it doesn't dip, then you just sit and enjoy the ride, right? Now, I'm going to move over to this other chart that I've got set up. So I'm looking at longer term time frames here. So we're looking at the 2-week time frame with our volume resistance over here. So you can see that there's some heavy resistance that VChain has broken through this year. So we are well above that. We're sitting well above that. So now, like we know, this 1.6 cent mark to 1.8 cent mark is a heavy area of resistance. So that's the area we need to get through. But I'm not worried about that right now because that's just a bulls versus bears scenario, and it will eventually break. But what we're going to look into is kind of using our 3 methods to try and get some price predictions in the next leg up. So you can already see that since March, the March dip, this particular crypto VChain has gone from 0.2 cent all the way up to at its highest point 2 cents. So let's just look at that from a percentage perspective, and we'll just do candle bodies for the monthly. So 583% in like, well, less than a year. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So in 9 months it's done 580%. So if you bought in March, you're sitting super duper pretty, and that's very exciting to see. But what we want to do is for those of us that bought it in this region, we want to see it do that leg again, right? And I believe it won't take 10 months to do the next leg because, as you can see, this heavy resistance area as in volume, where people are buying and selling, is well clear. So we're well above any major resistance except for where we are right now, and that's why there's this bit of a tussle going on. So let's do the first method, and we'll just see if we were to reproduce percentage for percentage the last move. Again, where would that get us? So let's go once again from that candle bottom to maybe this candle top. We've got about 630%, and then we'll do that again from the bottom here of this kind of retracement of that move, and we'll move our way up about 630%. All right, so that gets us to about 8 cents. So that's probably that's a very bullish prediction in the next move, in the next leg up. So let's put a line in there. Put a horizontal line in there at the 8 cent mark. So that's cool. If we're buying in now at under 2 cents, that's a 4x, which is pretty cool. You know, if we got a little bit lower, then it's more than a 4x. It's a 6x. Anyway, let's leave that there. We'll get rid of these things so our chart doesn't get messy. The next method I'm going to use is the fib retracement. So I'm going to use the max point in the move, and then down to the min point on the wicks this time, just to kind of see how far it possibly can extend. And on the fib retracement of this last move, we have another kind of price target up here of the 6.4 cents. Now, I also like to put in this one here, the 3.6 extension, just to give myself that idea of like, maybe I'll take some out there. So if I was looking at 8 cents to be my take profit mark, I might scale out a little bit at 5 cent, a little bit at 6, and then a little bit at 8, so that I'm averaging out of the position the same way I would average into the position, because if it doesn't make it to 8 and it falls backwards, then where are you sitting with that? And you haven't got a plan, right? So that's our fib retracement mode. So we've got now a range between 5 cents and 8 cents, which I like. It's a fairly decent range from the low to the higher end. And then just another tool that I'm kind of just, to give us some confirmation of how accurate these moves could be. And we'll go from the bottom of this candle and see on this move. Let's go up there to the top of that candle, and we've got a 60-degree move there. So and let's see if it was to repeat that again. Yeah, so that's putting us up to the, on that 60-degree angle, and doing the same thing and playing out the same kind of zigzag or ABC pattern. We're getting towards that 8 cent region. So we've got our percentage gain, and we've got our angle and distance gain move that is showing us about the same thing. That there's a target there between 5 cents and 8 cents. And I like that, because on this particular move, that kind of does exactly about the same thing that kind of VET'd in the last bull run, where it went from half a cent up to 6 cents in the first kind of leg of the alt season, and then it made a move, and then it made a move again up to the kind of 20 odd cents, and then it reached out again in the final alt season to its 3 to 380 mark, depending on which exchange you're looking at. So I like the similarities between VChain and XRP maybe 4 years ago. So this is telling me it's good things, it's bullish. Long term, if we zoom out, and rather than sitting into this chart and watching our small balance of crypto go up and down and up and down and up and down, and following it on a day to day, this is just a good way to kind of get a little bit of a bird's eye view of it and see where we're heading. So if you bought a bag around here and it's dipped, this is where you're going, So even if you bought it at the very tippy top here of 1.9 cents or 1.2 cents, just hold tight. This is where we're heading. We're heading to somewhere between the lower end of 6 cents to 8 cents there. So that's good to have in mind. And that's, I mean, I don't want to go too much deeper into VChain because that's what it's doing. That's where we're heading. It's just a matter of when. And I don't believe it's going to take until February 21 to get there. I kind of feel like there's a potential that this first alt season will happen a lot quicker. So if we shoot up to the 5 or 6 cents very quickly and then retrace maybe somewhere back to that 2 cent and then kind of consolidate our way up to possibly that second alt season, and then boom on out of there to that 20, 30 cent targets potentially. Now there's no guarantee of that two alt season situation happening, but there's a lot of signs pointing to it. The way the top 10 altcoins are very tightly correlating to Bitcoin at the moment, and they're not having any laggardsy. It's not like Bitcoin's running for 3 days and then the altcoins pick up. It's kind of like Bitcoin runs and then a couple of hours later the altcoins are running. And you can see here that the total market and the total market excluding Bitcoin, the tickers are going fairly strong. So there's some decent volume going on there. And I guess if we go back to the 4-hour window, it's not as much volume as there has been, but there's still some solid volume there. So there's buying, selling, but it's printing its way up. And you can see that the market in general, especially this altcoin market, has this 203 billion market cap point to break through at some point. So as an altcoin market as a whole, once we start seeing this solid red line being broken, this 203 billion market cap, and where are we now? 198. So we're not far away from it. Couple of good green days and we're up and breaking that, and then the next one's the 209 billion market cap, and then moving up to 213 billion market cap, and then we're onwards and out to all-time highs. I believe for the all-time highs for the total market cap of the altcoins, or maybe not. No, sorry, a bit further out. So it's 470. But you can see once again, even on this long-term 2-week chart, we're there and abouts. Once we break out above that 210 to 220 mark, then we're kind of resistance free. And you'll find that if this was an alt season, that this next move is probably going to be something super bullish. Have a little draw again. It could be more like this, and then kind of coming back down and going away long like that. So, there's astronomical potential depending on the way the world plays this and the market runs, but we could see something crazy like that happen and maybe a bit more of a retracement. But you can see what happened there. And I guess maybe if we go and use that measure tool again, there we go. So 61 degrees. Where does that get us? Even if we used March there. So it's, we're talking about a move from 400 billion to potentially, trillions. So, this is where everyone talks about the nascency of the asset class, where there is so little money in it now, and it takes so little money for it to expand in market cap and start being a serious market, where we're talking about 400,000 billion. So I don't even know what that is in trillion. It's well out of my grasp, this idea of it being up there, but that's when it goes from 1 to 5% of the world kind of being into it and thinking, oh yeah, I'm onto something here, to 10 to 15% of the world maybe starting to hedging into a little bit of I might hold a little bag of this cryptocurrency just in case, and that's what can potentially happen. So. Exciting times for crypto. I am going to just leave it there, because we're just talking about VChain today, and a little bit of value at the end, talking about the total market, where this whole thing could go crazy. And it's just about sitting tight, holding, waiting, maybe zooming out to your 2-weekly chart if you are just learning cryptocurrency and trading view, and just kind of seeing where it's been, and the, you know, this kind of general wave of this market. So, and just, yeah, maybe not looking at the charts as much or checking the price of your portfolio as much right now until it just breaks out, and then you can kind of sit still for a while and just go, this is cool, this is cool. Anyway, I'm going to sign out there. Loving VChain, loving those price predictions. I'll just give us a reminder of that, where we are. So we're talking about the 5 cent to 8 cent range. If you were to take profits on this next leg, you know, if you were in it for the short term and kind of buying in now and jumping out and turning, you know, 1,000 into 8,000, then woohoo, you know, you just did that. So that's the next leg for me. I'm planning on holding a lot higher, but for those of you that do want to take some profits and take some skin off the table, these are the price targets that if I was selling out in the next leg up, I would be looking at taking some out at 5 cents, 6 cents, and then 8 cents on the full upside position. All right, I'll leave it there. Ciao. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you've got some value for that. If you hold VChain in the comments, put it in the comments, and always remember, have a plan, have an exit plan for your coins, and know where you're investing it next. You know, for me, it's gold and silver. Watch some of my gold and silver videos. I think that's the next market. That's going to be a 2 to 3 year bull market where you could be throwing some of these profits into these miners, these junior miners, and even senior mining, or, you know, gold ETFs, and just watching whatever you've grown grow even more steadily, and that's a cool thing. So I am going to leave it there. Just thought I'd throw that in at the end. Just have a plan, do something with your money that you earn, and don't just blow it. So that's what this channel's all about, right? Crypto plan. All right, see ya, bye.